This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The community in shock as a 72-year-old woman dies in a home invasion. A 25-year-old man in custody. The latest on the teens who went missing in Andros, the unbelievable story. And a big day of celebrations here at the Nassau Guardian. The paper has turned 180 years old. We'll talk about that and celebrate. Want you to be a part of it as well. Giveaways and more. Today, it's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Monday, November 25th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Deandra Cartwright will be joining us. As we said, we're celebrating the 180th anniversary of the Nassau Guardian, officially November 23rd. And we've got a whole lot going on here all day at the Nassau Guardian. So more on that throughout the morning. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, a 72-year-old woman found dead after a man broke into her Ross Corner apartment before 3 a.m. on Saturday. A devastated relative of Vernicia Butler telling the Nassau Guardian that she was assaulted by the intruder. Police say they were alerted to a disturbance at the apartment. When they arrived, they met two men attacking another man who is not a resident of the home. Police say that the two male relatives on arrival at the home discovered the suspect in the home and their female family member unresponsive. Butler's nephew, Sherwin Johnson, says his uncle and cousin met the intruder on top of his aunt, and he said that they came there while it was happening, attempted to beat the man, and the police stopped them. We're told that the man had to be taken away in an ambulance, and that Vernicia Butler was discovered lifeless. Police say the 25-year-old suspect is known to them. He was taken to the hospital and was being treated for his injuries. Meanwhile, in the wake of that tragic homicide, F&M leader Michael Pintard says the country cannot tolerate such heinous behavior. Pintard saying, quote, "My heart ached when I learned about the tragic death." He said the incident compels Bahamians to search their hearts to see what can be done to prevent future tragedies. Police also giving an update on two juveniles in Andros who went missing last week. They're saying that the two 13-year-old boys, Demester Duncombe and Shantion D. Thompson, who reportedly ran away from home on the 19th of November, have been located. The juveniles are captured and arrested around 6:45 p.m. on Sunday in the Johnsons Bay area. The juveniles are suspects in a number of house-breaking incidents that occurred on the island and were found inside a residence with stolen electronics, fishing gear, footwear, and flashlights. Public Hospitals Authority Managing Director Abinat Roll says the Bahamas' high prevalence for comorbidities continues to put a significant strain on the public health system, which faces other issues like aging infrastructure and healthcare worker shortages. Roll saying the population was very sick. She said that since she's been at PMH 3 years now, every fiscal year, there's an increase in pharmaceuticals that if you align the category of pharmaceuticals with disease, it's the same ones: hypertension, diabetes, heart disease. Roll says the dialysis needs of many patients with those diseases has become one of the single biggest expenses within the public health system. More from Michael Pintar, the FNM leader, calling on the government to release the full details of its $300 million debt refinancing plan. In a statement issued yesterday, Pintar slammed Prime Minister Philip Davis for the flashy public relations and spin connected to the announcement, adding that it was devoid of the pertinent details that taxpayers are owed. At a press conference held at Bahama Resort on Friday, Davis said the initiative, called Bahamas Debt Conservation Project for Marine Conservation, allows the country to refinance $300 million in external debt, generating an estimated $124 million in savings over 15 years. The initiative is supported by the Inter-American Development Bank, the Nature Conservancy, Standard Chartered Bank, and a coalition of partners. In a statement posted to his Facebook page on Saturday, Davis explained that the refinancing allows the country to pay off its debt at a lower interest rate. Overseas, a DHL cargo plane crashed on approach to an airport in Lithuania's capital and skidded into a house this morning, killing a Spanish crew member. The cause of the accident is under investigation. A surveillance video from a nearby company showed the plane descending normally as it approached the airport and then exploding into a huge ball of fire behind a building. The moment of impact could not be seen on the video. The head of the country's firefighting service said the plane skidded a few hundred meters, and photos showed smoke rising from a damaged structure in an area of barren trees. Rescue workers sealed off the area, and fragments of the plane in the company's trademark yellow color could be seen amid wreckage scattered across the crash site. And from Bolivia, a landslide caused by heavy rains after a prolonged drought in La Paz flooded dozens of homes early Sunday. It swept away a young girl, spurred evacuations, and left parts of the city without electricity. Torrential rain on Saturday caused a river to spill its banks, dislodging mud from a southwestern La Paz neighborhood where low-slung, shoddily built dwellings dot the landslide or the hillside. The torrent of rocks and soil surged down a narrow ravine early Sunday, wrecking some 24 homes and flooding another 40, according to Bolivia's deputy civil defense minister. Hours after the rain subsided, rescuers were still searching for a missing 5-year-old girl in the inundated neighborhood of Bajo Loyeta. Emergency workers trudged through the boot-sucking mud on Sunday, pulling at least 6 residents suffering from hypothermia from the collapsed hillside. Soldiers helped clear mud from the streets. And gunmen opened fire early Sunday at a bar in southeast Mexico, killing 6 people and injuring at least 5 others. The shooting took place in the coastal province of Tabasco, which is struggling with a recent increase in violence. Public Safety Secretary saying on X that the shooting happened in an area that federal authorities are working with local officials to help solve the crime. No arrests were reported, and it wasn't immediately clear what prompted the shooting. Videos posted on social media show people fleeing the bar while some survivors stayed with the victims as police arrived. Earlier this month, gunmen opened fire in a bar in central Mexico, killing 10 people and injuring 13. The attack took place in the historic city center of Querétaro, in a region that until recently had long been spared the violence seen in some neighboring Mexico states. And when Kenyan police arrived in Haiti as part of a UN-backed mission earlier this year to tackle gang violence, hopes were high. Coordinated gang attacks on prisons, police stations, and the main international airport had crippled the country's capital and forced the prime minister to resign, plunging Haiti into an unprecedented crisis. But the crisis has only deepened now since the international policing contingent arrived. The main international airport closed for the second time this year after gangs opened fire on commercial flights in mid-November, striking a flight attendant. Gunmen are also attacking once peaceful communities, trying to seize and control the entire capital, taking advantage of political infighting that led to the abrupt dismissal of the prime minister again earlier this month. Now, a new prime minister is tasked with turning around a country that sees no escape from its troubles, and Haitians are wondering, how did the country reach this point? Bloody coups, brutal dictatorships, and gangs created by Haiti's political and economic elite have defined the country's history, but experts are saying that this is the worst they've seen. Doctors Without Borders announced it was suspending critical care in Port-au-Prince as it accused police of targeting its staff and patients, including threats of rape and death. It's the first time the aid group has stopped working with new patients since it began operating in Haiti more than 30 years ago. In a recent statement, the Kenyan-led mission said it was cognizant of the road ahead, that it was fraught with challenges, but it noted that ongoing joint patrols and operations have secured certain communities and forced gangs to change the way they operate. And a spokesman for Haiti's new prime minister, Alex Didier Fils-Aimé, did not return messages to the Associated Press, but in a statement Thursday, his administration said authorities were strengthening security along the capital's main roads and had formed a special security council. In sports, Cuba securing a huge win against the Bahamas with a 76-62 victory in Havana in basketball, FIBA International Basketball Federation America Cup 2025 qualifiers. The victory for Cuba propelling them to second place in Group D in the qualifiers. The Bahamas opened the game by scoring the first basket, but Cuba quickly responded, tying the game and then taking a lead that they would maintain throughout. The Cuban team outperformed their opponents in all four quarters, steadily increasing their lead to finish with a comfortable double-digit margin of victory. From college basketball, Bahamian Valdez V.J. Edgecombe Jr. had a much better performance in his second collegiate game on home soil, but the Baylor University Bears did not, and they fell to the number 11 University of Tennessee Volunteers, 77-62, in the championship game of the Bahamar Hoops Continental Tire Bahamar Championship on Friday. Edgecombe was much more efficient, hitting 50% of his shots, both from the field and three-point range. The Bahamian collegiate freshman at Baylor finished with a collegiate career-high 20 points on 8 for 16 shooting from the field, including 3 for 6 for three-point range. The 16 shot attempts were a career high for him as well. The inaugural Carifta Gymnastics Championship taking place November 29th through December 1st in Kingston, Jamaica. Team Bahamas will compete at the event, which will bring together gymnasts from across the Caribbean to showcase their talents. More about that in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NFL, a big day Sunday. The Washington Commanders losing their third in a row, 34-26, as a kicker missing an extra point in the final minute of the game, losing to the Cowboys of Dallas. Saquon Barkley sets the Philadelphia Eagles franchise record with 255 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and a 37-20 win over the Rams. And the Minnesota Vikings beating the Chicago Bears 30-27. That's sports. And that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather for today. We've got a frontal boundary near the southeastern Bahamas. That's going to migrate northerly while supporting showers and thunderstorms along moderate to fresh breezes over parts of the central and southeast Bahamas through tonight. And the area of low pressure expected to develop along the frontal boundary Tuesday, leading to a tight pressure gradient. This is going to produce widespread showers and thunderstorms, strong gusty winds with gusts to near gale force, and rough seas in the southeastern islands. Meanwhile, a weak high-pressure ridge over the northern and northwest Bahamas will produce light to gentle winds and drier conditions. So a near gale watch will come to effect early Tuesday morning and remain in place until Tuesday night for the southeast Bahamas. Small craft should remain in port in that part of the country. The low-pressure system is expected to migrate west of the islands through Thursday, and lingering moisture will support a moderate chance of showers in the central and southeastern islands through to the end of the week. High pressure will continue to dominate over the northern and northwest Bahamas with mostly sunny conditions. And another cold front is expected to slide into the area by Friday. Beachgoers are advised that there is a moderate risk of recurrence along eastern and northern shorelines of the southeast Bahamas, as well as Atlantic beaches across all areas. Your forecast for today for the northern and northwest Bahamas: partly sunny and mild, becoming partly cloudy at night. Less than 10% chance of showers today. Winds northeast at 10 knots or less, or east to northeast at 10 to 15 knots for the northwestern islands. For the central islands today, partly cloudy, breezy, becoming cloudy and breezy by late afternoon, a 30% chance of showers. For the southeastern Bahamas, cloudy to overcast through tonight, a 30 to 40% chance of showers and thunderstorms. For the central islands, winds easterly at 15 to 20 knots. For the southeast Bahamas, easterly at 15 to 20 knots, shifting north to northeast at 15 to 25 knots by late afternoon. Temperatures today, we are looking at high temperatures getting up to around 81 Fahrenheit, 27 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. A bit warmer for the southeast Bahamas. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have more in your extended outlook and look at the tropics coming up.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Thanksgiving has arrived early at Montague Motors. This whole month is Black November with deep discounts on selected models. Roll out this season in style. Montague Motors, trusted quality service for over 20 years. Zero down, everyone. Village Road near Shirley. 698-3950. 812-7576. Call Montague Motors now and get the best discounts the entire month of November.
Shop till you drop this Black Friday with BWF. We are doing it big with deals made especially just for you. Shop early as the holiday approaches. 2 days of amazing blowout savings. Up to 50% off Black Friday, November 29th and 10 sales Saturday, November 30th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Don't miss this chance for massive savings. Deals, deals, and more deals. Check out our wide selection of Christmas decor with savings that will blow you away. Black Friday, November 29th and 10 sales Saturday, November 30th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Shop and save big on appliances, generators, compressors, and water pumps, power tools, hardware supplies, automotive supplies and accessories, lawn and garden supplies, kitchen and outdoor cooking supplies, barbecue grills, household supplies, Christmas supplies, Junkanoo and craft supplies, toys, floral decor, and so much more. BWF. We are more than just our name. Number 13 Wilton Street. Telephone 394-0004 or 6. Check us out on Facebook. We ship to the Family Islands.
Janae's Madness Sale is going on this Monday only. Up to 50% off selected items. Buy 2 of the same Christmas decorations and get the 3rd one free. Yes, free. Restrictions apply. Trees, lighted angels, Santa toppers, ornaments, lights, mesh, flowers, picks, and much more. And don't forget the toys. Up to 20% off toy purchases, plus an additional 10% off when you provide a Janae's Carnier uniform purchase receipt of over $50. VAT excluded. Janae's Chesapeake Road Monday Madness Sale going on now. Extended store hours till 7 p.m. Hurry in and get more bang for your bucks.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, life-saving innovations happen here every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to travel to Cleveland Clinic. Your destination for care, for every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
Transform your home for less at Kelly's House and Homes Holiday Paint Sale, Friday, November 1st through Tuesday, December 24th. Enjoy 25% off house and spray paints plus 20% off paint supplies, excluding net items. Our wide selection of paint colors is the perfect way to bring holiday cheer to your home. You'll also find the best selection of brushes, rollers, and pans, glue, bladders, paint thinner, and more. So catch the holiday spirit and paint up for Christmas at Kelly's House and Homes Holiday Paint Sale.
This holiday season, the Water and Sewage Corporation is spreading joy with Deck the Halls with paid bills. Pay your bill in full by December 21st. Complete the entry form and you're entered to win amazing prizes like a hotel stay, round-trip Bahamas Air ticket, a 60-inch TV, and more. And here's a holiday bonus. Residential customers who pay within 15 days of the bill date get a 5% discount on their next payment. Don't miss out. Pay your bill in full today and celebrate the season with fabulous prizes. Visit WSC.com.bs for details.
I'm joyriding.
CIBC Caribbean is giving 3 lucky clients the chance to win cash prizes this Christmas. Finance your vehicle with us for your chance to win, and we'll gift you no loan application fee, up to 100% financing, and up to 10 years to repay. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/joyofgiving and apply for vehicle financing now. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, DeAndre Cartwright will be joining us, and we're expecting quite a few members of the NASA Guardian team to be rolling in over the course of the show this morning, as we've got a big day here at the NASA Guardian, celebrating the 180th anniversary of the paper. It was officially Saturday, November 23rd, but we're celebrating today, and we want you to be a part of it as well. We'll tell you more about that later in the day. There are going to be prizes and giveaways and lots of stuff that you can get involved in throughout the day. Today, you'll be hearing about that all morning, all day long. So that is ahead. We also have a lot to talk about right now in the news. And in the news, hey, this is in the news too. The NASA Guardian celebrated 180 years. You want to get today's NASA Guardian commemorative edition. This is volume 180, number 1. So that's very special. Very few papers can say that they've been around that long, especially this region, one of a handful. But all kinds of wonderful things in there today, including, as we've been doing all month long, Blast from the Past. So there is, today's Blast from the Past is from 1944, November 23rd, 1944, the 100th anniversary of The Guardian, how they celebrated it back then. Really interesting stuff there. And you can take a look at that as it's reprinted here. And I hope you've been collecting these all month long with these editions, reprinting the front pages and other pages from the NASA Guardian over these 180 years. Again, much more on that coming up a little bit later in the show and all morning long. But of course, we've got a lot to talk about and a lot of just unbelievable, disappointing, sad news. And man, so the big headlines, of course, about the 72-year-old woman and grandmother who died in a home invasion. We're going to get to that in just a bit. As you know, last week was a horrible week. We had the murder of a 12-year-old girl and a number of children reported missing. They've all been found. But the two most recent, both from Andros, this is beyond disturbing, what we're hearing with this case. So the two boys from Andros, 13-year-olds, have been found, and they are said to be safe. But that's not the end of it. So they're now in custody because police told us that the 13-year-old boys, Domester Duncombe and Shantionte Thompson, who reportedly ran away from home on the 19th of November, they have been captured and subsequently arrested around 6:45 p.m. on Sunday in the Johnsons Bay area by officers from the Andros Division with assistance from members of the community. So the juveniles, those two boys, are suspects in a number of house-breaking incidents that occurred on Andros and were found inside a residence with stolen electronics, fishing gear, footwear, and flashlights. The police thanking the members of the Andros community for their unwavering support in locating the juveniles. And, of course, investigations continue. But wow, what else can be said? So we'll see where this goes, but my God. Boy. So that capped off, just the most unbelievable week. Just rough. What next? Right? What next? So the big stories we said, the 72-year-old woman. So this is the story from Candia Dames. A 72-year-old woman was found dead after a man broke into her Ross Corner apartment before 3 a.m. on Saturday. A devastated relative of Venetia Butler telling the Nassau Guardian that she was assaulted by the intruder. Police said they were alerted to a disturbance at the apartment. When they arrived, they met two men attacking another man who was not a resident of the home. So police said it's reported that the two male relatives on arrival at the home discovered the suspect in the home and their female family member unresponsive. Butler's nephew, Sherwin Johnson, said his uncle and cousin met the intruder on top of his aunt. Johnson said, quote, they came there while it was happening and they attempted to beat him and the police stopped them. The guy was taken away in the ambulance and when they went in the room to examine her, she was lifeless. Police said the 25-year-old suspect is known to them. He was taken to the hospital and was being treated for his injuries. Johnson saying, quote, the guy, he's in the hospital. I was hoping that he was dead. Wow, but not yet. This is Johnson again. John said his aunt lived with her son who was not home at the time that the break-in happened. Butler was attacked just hours after she celebrated her sister's 75th birthday with family, according to her nephew. A video circulated showing her enjoying herself. Johnson saying, quote, she called and made sure everybody got home. After that, that was it. He said Butler was a seamstress and a mother of three and well-loved. He said his family had 3 significant deaths already for the year, 2 of Butler's sisters and her father. He said she was unable to attend her sister's funeral, the first one who died in January because she was having a procedure done. She beat cancer. We were celebrating that she was able to act fast. She didn't have any significant issues. And then Dad died, and then the other sister. Wow, Johnson said the assailant deserves the death penalty. He said, quote, that's the only thing I can express right now, an eye for an eye. You don't fool with children, you don't fool with seniors, you don't fool with anybody, but definitely not children and seniors. Wow, okay. Guy known to the police. Let's talk about it, folks. I'm exhausted. I know you're not supposed to, in my position, to let these things get to you, but I can't help it. This is, and every day, every single day, you have to talk about this kind of stuff. And you picture your relatives, your mom, your nephews, children, everybody in the same situation. Every day for 12 and a half years, the chaos and madness in this country. And it's not getting any better. It's not getting any better. If you want to talk about it, I'm 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, a cancer survivor, and some sick bastard who's known to the police. Call us toll-free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Man. What do you say? Here's what the politicians are saying. Pintard decries murder of elderly woman. In the wake of the tragic homicide, F&M leader Michael Pintard says the country cannot tolerate such heinous behavior. He said, quote, my heart ached when I learned about the tragic death of one of our seniors on Ross Corner. He said the incident compels Bahamians to search their hearts to see what can be done to prevent future tragedies. He said, quote, we must work every day to properly raise our children. We must ensure that the elderly can enjoy their country without fear. Similarly, we must refuse to accept the actions of those who reject positive instruction and guidance. As a nation, we must act together and we must act now. We cannot tolerate heinous behavior in our society. We must prevent and eradicate it from our communities. Let's go to this call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm here.
Well, Dwight, my deepest sympathy goes out to all of the affected families. Dwight, I was on WhatsApp, Facebook, and stuff last night, and I tell you no lie, Dwight, everybody, including foreigners that came up last night until late, was talking about the tragedies that's going on, especially the 12-year-old girl. And it's just really, 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 really sad, Dwight. But words just can't describe. I can't describe in words what's going on and how I feel. But there's something I noticed that we noticed in Dwight. In the last 2 to 3 weeks, Dwight, we have had 3 to 4 women raped and murdered. Dwight, that is uncalled for in this country. 3 to 4 women and children raped and murdered, Dwight. Dwight, what the... Jesus, almost say something. Dwight, what's going on?
Yeah. What is going on? I'm listening. What is going on?
What? Jesus, almost say something again. Dwight, our leaders, and every time we speak to them, they find every excuse why certain things can't happen, Dwight. They find all the excuse.
What do you mean specifically? What do you
Okay,
you talking about the death penalty?
The Minister of National Security was on another show, and he was questioned at length as to what can happen with all these murders and all these guns and all this stuff. And he take a backseat and say, well, it's best we do this and do that and do otherwise because we ain't sure what the courts, because he's speculating what the courts may say or let the person off rather than let them go through the trial, and it is what it is. He is handing out plea bargains like candy. Like candy and things, and I could go on and on.
Yeah.
Well, I upset.
Yeah.
Morning again, and thanks for taking my call.
Appreciate it. All right, so I know, yes, we the plea bargain thing gets people worked up, but they get a conviction and they don't leave it up to the jury, which often does foolishness. Yeah, and I understand the frustration, though. I do. I really do. But, boy. I think you don't mind if I read this, right? Yeah, so this texter says here, this is very sad. They were from San Salvador. That family, the Butler family, really went through it this year. Wow. I mean, this is crazy. All those deaths and a cancer survivor, 72 years old. Let's take another call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Dwight.
Deandra's here as well.
24 years ago, Dwight. 24 years, right? Since we had attempted, what they call it, somebody being executed in this country.
Capital
right?
punishment, yeah.
24, Dwight. So, Dwight, let's say if we put 50 because every year for 24 years we were suffering murders. I'm talking about murders that some of them are so gruesome, it's unimaginable, right? For 24 years, over three administration, right? And you hear what our Prime Minister said? He see no murders that warrant a death or execution.
He didn't really say it like that.
No, he didn't say it like that. But in layman's time, when the people listening to him, Dwight, you think they listen to him from an educated point of view? They trying to make sense of what this man is saying, Dwight. And he said he didn't see no need, none of the murders them warranting capital punishment, Dwight. And why wouldn't he see that? Why would Bahamian people expect for him to see that, Dwight? Why would we? These people making money from their law firms are making money every year for 24 years from the crime will exist in this country, Dwight. So how could we then look for the same people with making all of this money, right? And come out and telling us something, right? and we must just roll up. We ain't going to get no problem solved with the mentality we're running this country, Dwight. There will be no problem solved because these young people are being raped in this country. I don't know if this PLP government put a rape case on the Bahamas, right? Because things have happened.
Well, that's a bit much. All right, so yeah, we capital punishment. Yeah, I know plenty of you want it, but we got a bunch of crazy people around as well. A bunch of people who do not care about laws and kind of want to die. What are we going to do about them? What are we going to do about them? Because there is not capital punishment. That's why they're acting like this.
Dwight, let's put laws in place to cause Bahamians to think, Dwight. Bahamian people have nothing to think about other than bills today. That's it. Nothing else other than bills, Dwight. Let's give them something else or more to think about when it relates to people, harming people or losing a life, Dwight. We can't allow the citizens to be the government making decisions at the same time, Dwight. We need to put laws in place that will cause our citizens to see things in the light they need to see it, man, Dwight.
Okay.
But in the meantime, it ain't gonna happen no day under the Progressive Liberal Party or the Free National Movement. They didn't have their chance to lead and demonstrate to us. They're not interested. Have a nice day.
All right, that's fine. I hear you. But we got to do something as well. Plenty of you know that your brother, your nephew, your cousin, your son, your whatever is a nutcase who is very dangerous, and you are not doing anything about it. You're just like, oh, well, I can pray. Oh, well, that's just him. He always been like that. One day, catchy sense. That is what's happening here, and we're allowing these animals to be roaming the streets and doing whatever they want to do. And then you're hoping that the police get them and beat them, and then maybe whatever happens to him, but that was the Lord's will. This is what we're doing, and you're fine with it. Because every day you see new people on the streets who are out of their mind, and you know they didn't just appear there. They are somebody's relative. Somebody's driving by and like, oh boy, look at my cousin. And just driving past. And like, oh well, one day. We have to take some responsibility for this madness too.
But you know,
we do. We really do.
You know, Dwight, I think going back to what the caller was saying about putting laws in place, we have laws in place, but they're not being fully enforced, or they need to be revamped to fit present day. When you just mentioned persons being on the streets and whatnot, if we're talking about those, and we have we do have an increase of those with mental health issues that are on the streets, that are in society. When you look at the protocols behind the scenes as to how to have that person assisted, they have to agree to that. And that actually goes to persons who are also involved with certain types of lifestyles. Like, how do you force somebody to want to change? Now, the reverse happens, like what you said. We know that it's our relative, it's our brother, it's our uncle, it's whomever, whatnot. So is it that we apply pressure to them? Please do better. Like,
or
what
we could change the law and like you on the street, you've got to go. I'm
but
sorry.
This is what I'm saying. It's like it all circles back. It will always circle back to the need for us to reform our laws.
Yeah.
They need to be brought up to speed, but then also in the absence of, because our processes could be so very long. You have to satisfy so many different criteria just to get any type of action. So perhaps it could be some stopgaps, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, something has to be done.
There are other countries. I mean, we can learn from other countries' best practices. What could we apply here in the Bahamas? I mean, when we look at what's making headlines, this is back to back. And ironically, I believe this is National Women's Week. Just want to say there's been an increase, again, a surge of violence against women.
Well, again, if you feel comfortable with the police at your murder scene saying, oh, yeah, this person is known to police. Yeah? Well, somebody needs to know how it feels to be sued. Somebody. Oh, boy. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Strachan. Good morning to Deandra.
Morning.
Hi.
Yeah, Dwight, you're a producer of a very harmonious radio voice. Trust me, the young lady. Yeah, Dwight, I wanted to chime in and relate to something that GNN was saying for a while, right? But, Dwight, we as a society, condolences to the family. I think Cassie still said that the elderly lady, some family there is, right? But Dwight, I wanted to say this. Back in the 90s, my name was placed in the newspaper for, I was in a car with some of my friends, I was young, in my 20s. And so, for 3 grams of marijuana. So, I mean, we decided to do that, but we wouldn't put the names of people who committing acts, like the person who killed the 12-year-old, et cetera, and then, so
Well, when they are charged, you will know who they are. When that person, no one's been charged
I know,
yet.
but I was. I mean, it was just alleged that this weed I was in a car with 3 other men, but I guess it was my own because that's what I'm saying. But I just wanted to show you how meaningless these agendas are. But as it relates to this murder, Dwight, last week I wanted to call. There was a gentleman on Market Street. He's insane. He was brushing his teeth and moving around and stopping traffic and directing traffic and harassing people in their vehicles, actually stopping and harassing people. I don't know. Nobody seemed to, policemen pass and nobody seemed to intervene or whatever. So they are leaving us to fend for ourselves, right? Yeah. And that's a problem. And so we, even as a society, we don't even have a problem with a police officer. We saw on social media having the phone number of an infamous gang member. We don't even have a problem with that. So I don't know how we looking to solve this whole scenario, this whole problem with corruption and crime. So I believe for some reason, because these are global mandates, you say get rid of the death penalty, right? Now, no, everybody should be up in arms about this murder of this elderly lady and rape, right? This is what I'm saying. There are certain things that entails the death penalty, Dwight. You can't have rape and murder. I don't know if you listen to Scoogy over Friday, man. I listen to Scoogy. And Scoogy painted a scenario in which, and this is really what it is. Society people, you're sitting here, you're law-abiding, you will be like sheep compared to what these people running around. You see these motorcycle gang people moving around, intimidating people on the street, doing all type of thing. Right, these guys have no respect for family. I was out in the mall the other day. You wouldn't believe. Listen to me. These guys have no respect for family and regular people when they high and whatever they drink, in syrup or whatever, in pills, whatever they do. And I watch them, Dwight. Let me tell you something. Be in trouble. I know what to do, The question is if high society people who live in ivory towers know what to do. I ain't gonna be like those sitting sheep, and I ain't gonna wait for the police to come and say, "Oh, this happened." Because the only thing they do is wait until something happened. The murder of that elderly lady is sickening, and it is ridiculous. Okay, listen to me. Dwight, one day I'm gonna be old, and I don't have the money to move out life is key. So you think I could be sitting talking about Ray? Listen to me. They are people who in place who they have given permission to carry firearms. Now, what I'm saying is, there's no way high society could sit and just sit like sitting ducks. And Dwight, let me tell you something, Dwight. This country, this is a global mandate. So how you mean there's no death penalty, Mr. Strachan? They want us to kill one another. They want it to be no repercussions, right? It can't just be you sit, and you tell me a rape and a murder, a robbery and a murder, and no death penalty. I wouldn't agree that if somebody hurt me or I have a retard, that's a warrant for a death penalty. But then somebody, it's like, come on, my hitman, all these different things going on, and nobody suffering the repercussions for anything, man. We just supposed to sit and pray, and then something happened, then that's when we're supposed to worry about it, Mr. Strachan.
I hear you. Yep. It's crazy. Well, if we really wanted, if you really wanted to change this, I'm sure you could have a referendum tomorrow, and that would be changed.
The thing is, calling for a
nothing
referendum.
any council could do if it is not unconstitutional. If you wanted it, but that is clearly not what the lawmakers in the country want.
The thing is when we look at the death penalty and we look at the highest legal body who has the final say on these things.
But again, they're only guided by our Constitution.
The thing is, with the Privy Council, and simplistically, because this has come up in conversation so many times, if they can't apply it in their own country, they won't do it here. They won't do it in any other jurisdiction. They won't recommend it. Because then that would be hypocrisy. They could be going against their own laws. Mm-hmm. So when we look at it, I think this was the argument on several occasions by many legal minds as to perhaps why we should start looking at becoming a part of the CCJ, the Caribbean Court of Justice. They would know our makeup more better appreciated. They are in our vicinity. They know about us a little bit better, I assume, than somebody across the other side of the world. But the reality is, we have laws on the books. We can not use that word. We can carry them through. The thing is what the caller was saying about not enforcing the laws. Other countries would have abolished the death penalty, but they also have supportive social programs in place. You can't just get rid of the death penalty or not practice the death penalty without having fully functioning social programs from infancy to adulthood continuing throughout. A lot of what we are seeing, and again, I'm not a psychological expert in no way, but we've heard it from the experts, is because you have unresolved issues that our children are facing, and then they grow up with that. You have adults who have experienced things or who are willingly choosing to do these things, and there's no recourse at all. Like, how do we actually reach them? What programs are in place? And the few programs that are in place that are either run by the government or nonprofits are overwhelmed. Where's the investment in the social programs to benefit our society?
Yeah.
We're looking at the outcomes. We're looking at the crime. But what caused these individuals to get to that point? As you said, this is somebody's relative. They were a child, an innocent child at one point. Where and when did we lose them?
Let's take this call, and we've got to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Dwight, good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Both of you are making very, very valuable point, and this is what beat me to call in. Could you allow me just to give my condolences to all of the family that suffer to the hands of grief? It's painful, and we only can basically give them our condolences. But Dwight, you said something a moment ago, and Miss Cartwright, my neighbor from Long Island, she said something also very powerful just now. Dwight, you told the young man, everyone in this country have siblings. They grew up in a home with siblings. And we know right in our home, we can see it. We observe it every day. We live with it. I'm talking about the home now. But we are in denial. Yes, I agree that the law should take its course, and the law is there. But the law does not live in your house. And this is what takes me to my point and my passion about the erosion of the family structure. I don't know how can you have a loved one that you claim to love so much, and you see the wrong that person is doing, like you said a moment ago, and you cannot have a conversation with that person, your loved one, your siblings, your niece, your nephew, your cousins. I remember.
Well, some are really not well, though. Like, you cannot reason with them.
Agreed. And that's mental.
Yeah.
And I of the belief now, while I don't expect the Prime Minister to babysit my children, my grandchildren, and the police, the commissioner cannot. But I am of the belief right now, like Ms. Cartwright said a moment ago, this is deeper than what our eyes can see. This is spiritual. I will not change my view. The time has come now for us to have a national conversation. See, I don't like to say that. We need a national conversation as to what and how we get this way. I remember back in the drug trade in the 1980s, there was a national conversation. There were demonstrations as to how we get where we are. And I will go on the limb and say, show me the money and we will have some fun. Back in the 80s, this is what happened in this country. The money was showed and persons went and have some fun. As a result of that, nobody wants to take on their responsibility as to how children will come into the world. The principle will never change. We did not do it the right way. We went and we have some fun. Now we are paying the price. Everything comes with a price when you decide to have some fun the wrong way. Now, I will make this point. The Bahamian now open up their eyes and they'll stop having children by having some fun. The people in the South now, they now having fun, using the child as a security to stay here in this country. That is another issue we need to have a conversation on. Because no database, they are in the schools, they are mourners every day, they speak in their language, no respect whatsoever. I understood now they have a few in Long Island and all. Not discriminating.
You are correct, sir.
Not discriminating. And I do not intend to discriminate. But we have to say it for what it is. Back in Long Island, Exuma, and all the family islands I know, in the community, anytime someone tried to be disrespectful, there was a conversation as to why the child, who child is that, etc. And nobody want to be shamed like that. We need to have a national conversation of persons who have fun and never live up to their responsibility. As now, a result, we have two. The family structure is eroded, and now we have a dilemma. This ain't going away, Dwight.
Yeah.
This is not going away. So everyone to start from the home, have a conversation with your niece, your nephew, your cousin, etc. Now you know this is wrong. Yeah. Please try to do it the right way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Okay, let's take a break. We're going to pick this up. We've got a whole lot of your text messages. We're going to talk more about this when we get back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Before they turn off all the lights, I won't read you your wrongs or your rights. The time has gone. I'll tell you good night, close the door. Tell you I love you once more. The time has gone, so here it is. I'm not your son, you're not my father. We're just two grown men saying goodbye. No need to forgive, no need to forget. I know your mistakes and you know mine. And while you're sleeping, I'll try to make you proud. So daddy, won't you just close your eyes? Don't be afraid. It's my turn to chase the monsters away.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is AP News. I'm Rita Foley.
The roads and the sky are expected to be jammed as millions of us travel for the Thanksgiving holiday. The skies could be more crowded than ever for this Thanksgiving holiday season. The AP's Jennifer King.
The TSA says they're prepared to screen about 18.3 million air passengers during the 7-day stretch, a record number, with Sunday being the busiest at airports. Winter weather, a national shortage of air traffic controllers, and a strike by airline service workers in Charlotte, North Carolina could affect flights. FAA Administrator Mike Whitaker.
We're closely watching the weather, which is, of course, the biggest source of delays, and we'll do our best to work around that.
I'm Jennifer King.
The AAA predicts nearly 80 million Americans will travel between tomorrow and next Monday, most by car. And gas prices are cheaper than a year ago. It's $3.05 a gallon today. A year ago, it was almost $3.26 a gallon. Should the convictions of Eric and Lyle Menendez be re-examined because of new evidence in the case? They were convicted in the shotgun murders of their parents more than 30 years ago in California. Today, a judge will decide what happens next. The AP's Donna Warder.
Last month, prosecutors recommended resentencing Eric, now 53, and Lyle, 56, to 50 years to life, saying the brothers have worked on redemption and rehabilitation and have demonstrated good behavior inside prison. The new sentence could make the Menendez brothers immediately eligible for parole because they were under 26 years old when they killed their parents.
17 people are missing after a tourist vessel sank in the Red Sea, say Egyptian officials. A DHL cargo plane crashed on approach to an airport in Lithuania this morning and skidded into a nearby house, killing a crew member. The cause of the accident is under investigation. This is AP News. Donald Trump's making choices fast for his incoming administration. The AP's Jackie Quinn.
It appears former President Trump is turning to people who were his strongest backers during the campaign. Over the weekend, he named former White House aide Brooke Rollins to be his agriculture secretary. She was domestic policy chief during his first term, and the 52-year-old Rollins holds a degree in agricultural development. He's also tapped conservatives who align with the Project 2025 roadmap. Russell Vogt in the Office of Management and Budget, Tom Homan as border czar, and immigration hardliner Stephen Miller for Deputy Chief of Policy. Other picks include Robert F. Kennedy Jr. for Health and Human Services and Fox News Channel host Pete Hegseth as Defense Secretary. Some of these nominations will require Senate approval. I'm Jackie Quinn.
I'm Rita Foley, AP News.
$7:50, time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. Got some reminders of work going on. We've got still Balfour Avenue. That's expected to wrap up this week. But also the work going on Bay Street, beginning at 8th Street to Christie Street. That is expected to continue into this week. Most of that work taking place between 7 p.m. and 2:30 a.m. And so they're paving, and that's going to result in single-lane closures between East Street and Victoria Avenue. Again, this work expected to wrap up during this week, so keep that in mind if you are on that part of New Providence at night. In your real-time traffic right now, we've got a number of hot spots to tell you about. We've got slow-moving traffic on Gladstone Road from well south of the Fire Trail intersection straight up to John F. Kennedy Drive and the roundabout with Bahamar Boulevard. Marlborough Highway, heavy traffic for you well south of Fire Trail, straight through the Fire Trail roundabout up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway northbound. And Carmichael, busy for you eastbound to Blue Hill Road in that area looking congested. But Independence Drive, heavy westbound traffic this morning, but also eastbound. So you might want to avoid Independence Drive entirely if you can. Elsewhere, Robinson Road not moving between Prince Charles Drive and Marathon. Moving traffic along Prince Charles Drive, especially the major intersections. Eastern Road also busy for you from Fox Hill to about Johnson Road if you're heading westbound. West Bay Street seeing some slow-moving traffic at Saunders Beach near New Providence Highway and the roundabout, and then again just east of Arawak Key on the way to Nassau Street eastbound. That's what we're looking at right now. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution at RBC. And time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. We've got a frontal boundary near the southeastern Bahamas that's going to migrate northerly while supporting showers and thunderstorms along moderate to fresh breezes over parts of the central and southeast Bahamas through tonight. An area of low pressure is expected to develop along the boundary on Tuesday, and that's going to lead to a tight pressure gradient. That's going to produce widespread showers and thunderstorms, strong gusty winds and gusts to near gale force, and rough seas in the southeastern islands. Meanwhile, a weak high-pressure ridge will remain over the northern and northwest Bahamas, producing light to gentle winds and drier conditions. So a near gale watch will come into effect early tomorrow morning and remain in place for Tuesday until Tuesday night for the southeast Bahamas. Small craft operators should remain in port in that part of the country. And that low pressure system is going to migrate west of the Bahamas through Thursday, but lingering moisture is going to support a moderate chance of showers in the central and southeastern Bahamas through to the end of the week. Beachgoers also advise that there is moderate risk of rip currents affecting eastern and northern shorelines of the southeast Bahamas, as well as Atlantic beaches across all areas. Your forecast for today, partly sunny and mild, becoming partly cloudy at night for the northern and northwest Bahamas. Partly cloudy, breezy, becoming breezy and cloudy by late afternoon for the central islands. Cloudy to overcast through tonight for the southeast Bahamas. High temperatures, we're warming up a bit, with highs in the mid-80s today, around 28 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 72 Fahrenheit. 22 Celsius. A little bit cooler in the northern Bahamas. In your extended outlook, Tuesday, partly sunny across the northwest and central Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy across the southeastern islands. Wednesday, partly sunny over the northwest and central islands, partly cloudy to cloudy in the southeast Bahamas. And Thursday, partly sunny during the day, becoming fair at night. Pretty much the same for Friday. We'll take a closer look at the tropics in just a bit. But this weather check brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Get a deal on all 2024 electric vehicle models in stock at Easy Car Sales. Visit their online store at easy242.com for financing, discounts, and rebates while they last.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
No more wishing for your Christmas ideas to come true. Get a no-fee loan from RBC and make those ideas a reality.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
Finding the right loan for all of your Christmas ideas starts with a conversation. Visit a branch to speak with an advisor today. Offer ends December 31st.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
Make your house a home, stop by the furniture store that's giving you more. With appliances, furniture, and prices, whatever you want, we got it all. Promise Furniture, no wonder, we give it you, we make it worthwhile. We make it quality, comfort, and style. Quality and style, yeah. Promise Furniture, no wonder, what we give it you, we make it worthwhile. Giving you quality, comfort, and style. Promise Furniture.
Benzie Lampkin. I have two 13 by 23 semi-high gloss ceramic tiles in stock and selling for $214 a square foot before VAT. Now, one of these, namely CB2093, has a unique design that gives the illusion of laid stone, the unevenness of the stone sidewalks of Europe. But it's only an illusion. While they look like stone, they offer much more continuity. I'd asked Pender if he'd been to How to Talk Good School while he was away. Anyhow, come to Pender Time and have a look at his new collection, starting at $214 a square foot before VAT.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
This October, Dunkin' Donuts is brewing more than just coffee. We're brewing strength because we're stronger together. Donate at any Dunkin' location to support breast cancer awareness, and we'll match every dollar you give. Together, we're making a real difference for the Sister Breast Cancer Support Group. Sip, smile, support. When we stand together, we're stronger together because the Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Standard Services on Shirley Street, your everything Christmas store, has the perfect gifts just for you. Now until December 24th, you can get 5 to 50% off everything in store, plus 20% off Christmas lights, 25% off artificial Christmas trees, Christmas decorations, and all toys. Standard Services, just around the block with everything in stock. They have everything you need to keep everyone happy this Christmas season. Get the perfect gifts, plus 5 to 50% off everything at Standard Services on Shirley Street, your everything Christmas store. Open Sunday, December 22nd.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
No more wishing for your Christmas ideas to come true. Get a no-fee loan from RBC and make those ideas a reality.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
Finding the right loan for all of your Christmas ideas starts with a conversation. Visit a branch to speak with an advisor today. Offer ends December 31st.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
This river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know change has gotta come now. Ooh, yes it is now. Oh man. It's been too hard living, oh man. And I'm afraid to die. I don't know what's up there beyond the clouds. It's been a long time coming. I know, change has gotta come. Oh, yes it is now. There's a time I will go to my brother. Oh, I've asked my brother, will you help me please?
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Deandra Cartwright on this Monday morning. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to lighten the mood a bit and talk about the big celebration planned for today. The NASA Guardian has turned 180 years old. We're going to get into that this morning. A lot of exciting things going to be happening here today, and giveaways and prizes and fun for everyone, including all of you. I got a special giveaway to give away as well. A special giveaway to give away? Yeah. But we continue talking about this horrible news. It's just been a rough few days here in the country. Getting your reaction to this. Cancer survivor, 72-year-old grandmother, dead in a home invasion. And we're not sure, but it's suspected, I guess, that she might have been sexually assaulted, but we don't know. We're going to try to confirm this. But this is just really a lot to deal with. All right, so we have a lot of your text messages. You can continue to call if you wish. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. All right, text messages. This person says here, the country is in a very bad state and getting worse. The only thing our leaders have for us are empty words, and to me that makes it even worse.
Oh, boy.
This person says that the silence from the PLP women MPs is deafening. I mean, okay, what do you want them to say? I mean, what difference will it make? What? It's just going to make you feel better? Okay, I mean, it is that we're not hearing much from the governing party on a lot of these issues. Actually, men and women, but... Okay, hey, Dwight, it's time for women to rise up. I'm talking about women in the various unions, educators, women who lead the various associations, doctors, nurses, lawyers, all women. This is beyond disgusting. We keep letting things slide. Evil-minded people are taking over because we remain silent. It's time to demand that the Prime Minister stays home and do something to stop the crisis. Let's unite in Parliament Square, please, women. Okay, sure, fine. But the men, too. Men too. Men who think that this is wrong, what's going on, need to as well. Chester Robards is here with us as well. Good morning, Chester. Let's get your mic up there.
What they want the women to do.
I am also curious.
When they rise up, what are they doing?
No, but the thing is we have women's organizations that are trying to do good, trying to draw attention to these things, but are we actually listening?
Yeah, they're always out there.
I mean, they're
protesting.
launching the 16 days of activism to draw attention to the elimination of violence against women.
That begins tomorrow, right?
And I'm like, do we even know what that is? Do we care? When you see the people wearing orange, do we actually know?
But there was a group protesting last week. So the women are doing it. But
That's
what
what I'm
about
saying. It's like, why are you driving?
everybody? The men who think this is wrong too. Everybody needs to
But
say.
no, go back to what you had said earlier now. Do all men think that it's wrong?
Right. Hey.
You have some very disturbed people out there.
Yeah. And women too.
And
Women
we're growing up disturbed people who do disturbing things.
Absolutely. And this is what I said earlier, right?
Why are two boys who gone missing found doing illegal things?
Allegedly.
And
that's a good, we got a message about that as well. Somebody was saying how they noticed over the weekend, and they're saying Deandra's spot on. The two boys from Andros. I was shocked to read when it was reported that people were calling for the Cat o' Nine Tails to teach them a lesson. These two kids were not charged with a crime yet. I'm in shock. We really don't get it yet. We don't know what's going on there. If it is true, it's very disturbing. But the Cat o' Nine Tails is not going to assist them in any way, shape, or form.
Do people know what that is?
I don't think so.
No, okay.
No.
You mean the Cat o' Nine Tails?
Yeah.
They couldn't possibly
But some
understand.
of apparently some of the younger ones may not actually know what that is. And then when was the last time that was actually used? It was when there was abuse of a child. I think that's what that was last used. And the circumstances in which it was used.
I'm just saying, if they knew what it was, they wouldn't be calling for it to be used on two young boys.
Again, some people don't care.
Wow, this
We like
texter
violence. That's the
says we need more churches, marches, prayers, police, etc. That's what
We have churches, we have marches, we have
No, I think they're being
prayers.
sarcastic. That's what insane people do.
Oh,
the same
okay.
thing over and over, expecting a different result. Bad society. Oh boy,
I don't understand.
Yeah. This
I
texter
think
says
that's
here,
sarcasm.
Dwight, we are in a circular environment of crimes. We hear from the
Yep.
governing party and then the opposition after every murder, year after year, nothing is getting better. The commissioner said 178 are on bail for murder. We're expecting a safe society in this unrealistic, that is unrealistic with murderers on bail. We need a new system to govern this place.
I just need to know, the person who texted about the churches and the marches and the prayers, what do they do? What's their social activism? If they could text back and say what that is.
Texting, maybe.
Maybe,
you know,
yeah, that's true.
See, but then that's another thing, Chester. Like
That's
in our
on the lower
society,
rung of things,
we
but
like we talk.
Yeah.
We love to talk, but we don't do enough.
Yeah.
We don't. There's not enough of
Exactly.
that happening. We're brilliant at all coming together. Oh, this is wrong. Da 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 da. But what are we actually doing?
Mm-hmm.
And again, it starts from childhood. how are we actually nurturing? How many persons are actually giving back to our school systems? How many persons are going into the children's homes or whatnot, trying to help them?
exactly.
Like how are you giving back? We're talking about all the churches. How are you assisting your church in giving back to their surrounding communities? When last have you helped out at a soup kitchen, serving breakfast on in the mornings? When have you ever contributed to a hygiene kit preparation to hand out to those persons who are without homes on the street? Like, what have you done?
Yeah.
The reality is that a lot of persons who volunteer and give back in this country is like the same set of persons. It's
That's
like a
right.
small percentage of society that actually cares.
I always go back to this thing that R.M. Bailey did, right? They had a Father's Day, not on Father's Day, but they invited fathers and men of the community to come and have a lunch on them at R.M. Bailey, right? So they invited all the fathers of the students who go to R.M. Bailey. And I will let you paint a picture of the tiny number of men who were there.
Oh, no.
Including me and some other fellas from my church who don't have
Who
children who
fathers
go there.
Right. Well, tell us, around what number?
It was probably about 30 the most.
Oh, God. Wow. Here's a text. Let's be honest, the laws and the books have been around since the early 80s. You mean 1880s, eh?
Yeah.
They obviously aren't relevant to the times we are living in today. The only thing that's happening are that the criminals are laughing and lawyers are making big money. It seems as though this government isn't into hanging. Why not let these sick murderers get lethal injection? Or the cat of nine tails. This again. What about those family members that do want to have their relatives arrested for their illegal activities, but do not trust our police or courts to do the job?
Well, how would you know till you try?
What protection or mechanisms do we really have in place to protect them?
Protect who?
So because of the fear of that, you just sit back and allow them to do whatever they want? That's what you're saying?
I mean, we do have that problem in the country, right? And maybe not that deep, but the people who don't report a break-in of their car, the people who don't report a stolen gas tank, because they don't see that it's going to go anywhere, right? The police are going to come, what we do? Someone broke into my car downtown one time. The police said, bring the car to Central. And I was like, isn't that kind of disrupting the evidence of the scene where it happened? It's like, what the heck?
Did you do it?
No. I went home.
I've told people on the show before, but the time that someone tried to break into my car, and they told me to come down to the police station, and they dusted for prints. But they didn't take my prints, so they wouldn't know, whose prints. And my car was white. And I left there in the black car. But anyway, boy, that was years ago. Hopefully things have changed.
Did y'all see that story circulating on social media with the young lady on Grand Bahama who reported that there was a fellow who was harassing her in the food store and followed her to the bus stop, followed her onto the bus, even though she asked the previous bus to please not leave her at the stop because it was full, with this man who said he was following her, he was coming home with her, then gets off on the next bus. He keeps following her, like legit, allegedly, according to her story. Follows her into the neighborhood. One of her friends in the neighborhood is walking. She tries to walk with this male friend. The man shows up to her place. She cusses him out to leave and whatnot, calls the police. They never come. He comes back again, 3 hours. The police, she calls again and said, y'all have not shown up. And they said, well, what are you trying to tell us? A man who said he was buying grocery coming to your house, that don't sound right. You questioning somebody who literally, this man has said he's coming to her house to do certain things. She don't know this man. She reporting the police. She's in fear. And then nothing happens. How many instances of that actually happens on a daily basis here on New Providence, throughout the islands? Where's the help?
I called the police on the domestic dispute a couple of years ago. I'm still waiting on them. Maybe they'll show up tomorrow. They'll be like, we reached.
Wow. Stector says, is it possible that someone or someones that are on death row are connected to some government members? Could that be the reason that our government does not want to enforce? That's not it. It's just not into it. There's a lot of people who don't think capital punishment is right. because of so many things that could go wrong, right? That there are people who are unfairly convicted, bad evidence, and so they just don't support it. It just so happens that quite a few of those people are politicians. But the public, if you really want it, you need to make that very clear. And when they show up asking for your vote, you need to say these things, that I don't want anything, I don't need a T-shirt, I don't need a drink, I need you to do this. But who talks to them like that? Who? This person says here, our problems are much deeper than capital punishment. While it is a general deterrent, well, studies have shown it is not to the it is not the specific deterrent that people think. And if you think of it, people accused of murder are executed at an extremely high rate in the Bahamas as it stands. That's a very good point, and that hasn't stopped anything. They know fully well, you get released on bail for murder, you're going to die. But that hasn't stopped the show. These crazy people committing these horrific crimes couldn't care if beheading was the punishment. Yeah, they don't care at all. It is a badge of honor, I guess, to be murdered. They don't care. But anyway, what about those family members that do? Oh, you read that already? Okay. Dwight, it's not just mentally challenged people. There are men fixated on abhorrent sex. What? Most likely through the oversaturation of unnatural sex content from viewing porn 24/7. The murder isn't the problem in these cases. Rape is the problem, and the police don't seem to take rape seriously unless the rape victim dies, because a woman does lie, and man have the right to do whatever he wants to his wife. Interesting points. Wow. Since we were talking murders, I just passed a billboard for a $50,000 reward for a young man that was killed months ago. Yes, you've seen it. Okay. Dwight, I'm wondering if there is a trend in society to release the names of some alleged criminals like the boys in Andros, but conceal the names of others because those names would create a stir among the Bahamian populace. Just something I'm noticing. No, you're not right. Again, in rape matters, often that names aren't called because, rape of minors, but there's no protect. And if the accused are minors, now this is an interesting situation here. But I think the police were right to do that, although they have not been. They're suspected, they're not charged, but it is interesting. People need to know that, especially after the paranoia of last week with these kids who went missing, to know that this is the reason why they were missing, because they were allegedly on the run for their suspected crimes. My God. This is where we are. Ah, boy. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Good morning.
Good morning to your co-host and your listening audience. I must say, police definitely need to take smaller crimes more serious, because they don't understand the impact it have on people. And what it does is cause repeat offenders continue to do stuff. I had a break-in on sometime first week in October from my place. Guys took a 70-inch TV still in the box, 3 ceiling fans still in the box, my stereo set, they took my generator, took a tool kit, took carpets, number of items from me. I told you that, and I don't suspect because it had to be somebody who worked in my house. Okay, so I had 2 persons in mind. I gave them an item for suspect. That man no suspect, let me give them a general item where I thought he lives. Man, I haven't done yet. They came, block up my house, take all kind of fingerprints. The guy even told me he saw some fresh fingerprints. I haven't done yet. And it's me. When I say it's me, at least everybody know who I am. I know the guys at the station, or one, 2 the guys at the station. Or you thought at least you would get a call back from them. They take the thing casually, man. They don't take these things serious. And that was thousands of dollars of stuff stolen from me.
Wow.
So to me, they don't take small crimes serious enough and escalate to big crimes.
Yep.
And the thing about it is, when that crime happened to me, I think for some reason I came on the scene while the guys were probably in my house. But for some reason, I turned back. I was almost on my front lawn. I turned back because it was raining, and I decided to turn back and come back later. When I came back later, obviously they were in the house and they saw me. They probably thought I saw them Because I met my lawnmower on the outside, I met the gas tank on the outside, my chainsaw on the outside. These are other stuff that public is about to take. But because I was just trying to go to the inside and walk away, only the spirit must have led me away from the house. But my point is, at least I'll give you an idea who it is. At least check the guy up. I say it was him, I am not 100% sure. But just based on him working for me and him knowing I was off the island and him asking me for certain things during that time, I felt it was him. They even didn't pick the guy up. They didn't go look for him. Nothing like that.
My goodness.
But they got to take small crime more serious so it don't lead to bigger crime.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's rough stuff there. Sorry to hear all that. My gosh. Wow. Some more text messages before we take a break. This person says here, we need harsher penalties for violent crimes, from rape to child murder. We need a more efficient court system. It's good to talk about crime prevention, but multiple things can be done at once. There's just no desire by our leaders to fix a system they profit from. People keep saying this. Boy. Dead criminals can't pay lawyer fees, so why put them to death? Wouldn't it be better to leave them on the streets being known to police and paying lawyer fees when they continually commit crimes? I think we get caught up in the either or, the multiple things can be done at once. We need harsh penalties. Okay.
I'm always amazed that lawyers get paid by criminals.
Why?
Where are they getting the money from?
Oh, from their crimes.
Interesting, huh?
So that's it, Dwight. This little girl, now this. Are we going to talk about this for a week and forget again? Well, that's up to you, I guess. Can we stop making this about women and girls? What now? This is a national crisis that affects everyone. The more we make this about sexes or gender, the harder it's going to be for us to collaborate.
Sorry,
Is that your friend?
I don't know who this is. No,
Oh.
Don't say friend.
Hello.
What are you saying, though, Texter? What are you saying? Come
So
on,
the
we talk
crime
about
that
this.
impacted a woman, a crime that impacted a girl, so we shouldn't talk
And
about.
they're both suspected rapes in this. So, I mean, it's a...
So we shouldn't be outraged that this has happened
I'm not understanding.
because it happened to women and girls.
This is part of the problem right here, right? This is a part of... And we're getting a couple messages like this, right? You all have real issues. Real issues. And this is why this stuff keeps happening in this country. You can't separate it.
Yeah.
We're not trying to say when we talk about every time there's a murder with men, so don't act like it doesn't get coverage either. But to say something like that makes no sense. What is it? They aren't raping those men when they killed them. So something else is going on here. You understand? I don't know how you could even text this. Anyway. Oh boy. Okay. This person says here, oh, great. Now you have the feminists Chester and Deandra in the studio. 2 shots of feminism. Will we be wearing orange since we have the highest rate of murdered males too? Okay, this is the problem. It's not going to get any better. We're doomed. The people hate women. They hate children.
That's what it is.
They hate it. They hate everybody. They hate black people. They hate white people. They hate everybody. And the Bahamas, this is the lot that we have.
I don't know,
We're
man.
going to be like this forever.
Some of them really, really, really love men.
I mean, that could be a source of a lot of the issues right there.
Oh boy.
Denial.
Okay.
It's a serious thing.
But we have to talk about it. We have to talk about women and girls because it seems like men in the country and maybe across the world have forgotten what their role is when it comes to women and girls, and as protectors, right? And so we talk. So
Sorry,
yeah, I'm
say
a
that
feminist. I'm a feminist because I want to protect my mother
Right.
and my
That's crazy.
sister and my daughter and my wife and everybody who's a woman. Because that's what it is. That's what God put me on this earth to do, right?
Right.
As a husband and protector, priest, right? Protector, priest. I do these things. It's my roles, right? And I take those outside of the home as well. And even young, at-risk young men,
Right.
I go and I try to protect them,
Right.
Yeah.
right? From the problems they're facing, right? Through activism, through my church, right? That's what we call to do. So we talk about both of them, Texter. We talk about protection of women and girls, and we talk about protecting at-risk youth in the country as well.
Right.
One call, and then we're going to read the final messages and go to the break. Good morning, call. You're on the air. Are you there? Good morning. No, okay. This texter says here, Dwight, the Bahamas has become an Africanized political killer bee culture that started when we drifted away from traditional colonial values. Traditional colonial values? Okay. I tell Chester that if the criminals knew that the cat o' nine tails is painful, regardless of age, they won't break the law.
Let me tell you something.
That is not true what you're saying.
I am so surprised at some of the guys who ride motorcycles and bikes in this country and how they clearly don't care about the recklessness they do that could completely injure or kill them. Mm-hmm. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. They just don't care. So care about getting.
We've got a whole bunch of suicidal people.
They gotta be. They gotta be.
And that's what this is. Clearly, that's what it is. Nobody sees any future.
No.
Nobody is concerned about longevity, and they're like, well, you gotta die somehow. And clearly, that's what it is. I will go out ride my bike till I fall off and break my head off, or I'll be a criminal and get shot in the process. And oh well, that's the end of that. The pain is gone.
I've only seen in cartoons people run into the back of cars on bikes and end up in the back windshield. And I saw it live on Mackey Street one day. And the guy had an ankle bracelet, but that's neither here nor there. But I was like, he didn't have on a helmet, and he was tear up from that glass. And broke up, passing out on the street from the pain or whatever his injuries were. And I was like, that is crazy.
Yeah. This person says here, one of the issues we are so polarized politically that people supporting the administration don't want to speak out about their inability to arrest the crime issues. Same on both sides of the political divide, yeah. No change comes unless people change. We are like computers. We need a new program to change. There will be no change unless there are changes in the institutions that program our thinking. You often make references about how people complain about come from us. What? Okay.
Y'all keep electing interesting program writers.
Your caller is right. Police don't investigate small crimes. Forget that the victim suffered. Forget that impunity from small crimes leads to big ones. I've had several police matters over the years where nothing was investigated. These boys would not risk being reported missing to go on an alleged crime spree unless they've done it before. What? The parents should be checked into as well. Okay. I will, Dwight, respectfully, no one is asking for it to be a separate issue. The fact of our matter is that, weren't you doing that, though? You were doing that. The fact is that women and our children are getting raped. Our little boys are getting molested every day unreported. We cannot talk about this in the context of just women when the same thing is happening to all of us, young and old. That's the point. It's not about making it about gender. Why isn't it being reported? Why isn't it being reported? Because something's wrong with the way people react to these things, depending on the gender. And so something has to be done about that. But anyway, okay. I will give my life to protect my wife and daughters, my son, my mother, my sister, but I will do the same thing for my son, my nephews, my brother. The crime issue isn't sexist. It's about just a major crime issue. I hear you. Clearly, for some others, it's not. It really does matter. And they're angry that we're talking about this because a woman and a child have been killed, and they feel that it doesn't get the same attention when men are killed, which is ridiculous, but that's how they feel.
Like I said, there are young boys who need protection, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Final call, yeah. Are you there? Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, brother.
Hi.
Hey, Chris Davis here. John Canoe II.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, man. Just wanted to comment, especially after I heard that call about someone talking about returning to colonial values, And it just shows you, the troubling thing is some of these overtly sexist comments that are coming in, it's very much parallel with this whole incel red pill energy. And it's actually something that's quite dangerous, It's amazing to me that we as men and this fake alpha male spirit that's coming out here, like we don't feel sympathy for our women and girls who are greatly disproportionately victims of crimes of sexual violence, right? And even when a man is a victim of sexual violence, it is typically committed by another man or boy, right? And when a woman does commit a sexual assault or rape on a minor, first of all, that is actually over-reported, and we all like to make good fun and have a lot of fun about it. And we could still remember famous cases where they made movies and entire shows over teachers, female teachers that slept with their male students. And the energy is just completely different, you know. And I don't know how y'all do it, because y'all literally on the front lines of all of the verbal excrement that comes out. And what they don't realize is in all of this, you know, misfortunate victim blaming that we see. So we see it in the case with the little angel who was murdered last week, right? And people trying to blame the parents, and the parents actually have to come out and try to explain themselves when the real issue is the people that perpetrate these crimes. And a lot of the blame seems not to go there. And so I just want people to be very careful of this red pill energy. And also, I noticed that a lot of people, it's like we try to find somebody to blame, and that blame typically lands on the government. But what I find so amazing is that we have all of this outrage, and people are outraged from the government. And I hear the same voices that call our own politicians all manner of names, criminals and all this stuff. These the same people. So it's a level of self-hate on both an ethnic level with us being black, and it's a level of self-hate on a geopolitical level. The same people complain about Bahamian culture and putting it above, worship American culture. The same people that hate their own politicians seem to love Donald Trump, you know? And this is disturbing rise of this overtly and overly conservative mindset that we have all had here, you know? And what we are just all of these broken African souls living here. And then we have comments of things like Bahamas is now Africanized. We always been Africanized. That tradition that they talk about with peace is in fact an African tradition. And colonization was nothing good. And as a matter of fact, colonization is the root cause for all that we see going on, right? And I'll just close on this point. You know, when you look at the relationship between black men and black women, not just in the Bahamas, it certainly goes back, and I might sound like I'm beating the same drum, but the truth is it does go back to our colonial history and back to slavery, right? So when you are a husband to a wife and you try to form this relationship within that scenario, that's the only piece of happiness you can have. So imagine how the relationship between black men and black women have been damaged when black women have been so degraded throughout the times of slavery, when you have to let your wife go and sleep with the slave master and then have her come back. And all of these generations is now pretty much almost completely destroyed the relationship between black men and black women, not just in the Bahamas, but you see it in the United States and Jamaica. And for those people that have this thing and just try to conflate all of this with sort of irrational feminism, you know, they should all be very much ashamed of themselves. And I know exactly where this fake alpha male energy comes from. And what alpha males do is they protect women. You know, we look at alpha wolf or alpha lion, they protect the women that are in their harem, that are in their pride, that are in their clan, that are in their wolf pack. And yet we have this false alpha male, red pill, garbage energy. And in my opinion, a lot of these fellas actually literally hate women and love men, you know, and a lot of them, you know, to use some layman terms, they looking kind of suspect to me. Because I don't know how you could see a woman go through this, knowing that men are physically stronger and not empathize or have sympathy with these women and direct your anger towards the perpetrators, right? So I don't want to take too much of your time, but I appreciate it. But
thank you very much, Joe.
I appreciate you calling.
And listen.
I appreciate it, brother. Suspect for humans. I don't think they are humans. I don't know what's going on.
I appreciate that caller so much.
Yeah,
like,
very
honestly,
much.
thank you.
Christopher Davis, always appreciate him.
Yep.
Let's take a break. We're going to leave this here. When we come back, we are going to change the mood significantly. We are celebrating the Nassau Guardian 180 years, folks. We're going to get into that for the rest of the show. You definitely don't want to miss it. We've got prizes. We've got surprises. We're going to kick off the party. And we want you to be a part of that as well. That's coming up after the break. Don't go anywhere. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
But not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? A sonorous disregard, a broken bottle top, and a one-man soul. They follow each other on the window,
change.
Here's the Sure-winning art store moment from Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the antenna spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor and paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, the little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh yeah, we also have airbrush paint. I didn't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil, shrimp, stew, shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin-Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC. It's true.
No more wishing for your Christmas ideas to come true. Get a no-fee loan from RBC and make those ideas a reality.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC. It's true.
Finding the right loan for all of your Christmas ideas starts with a conversation. Visit a branch to speak with an advisor today. Offer ends December 31st.
We were set to battle, and your Aunt Angie was leading the pack when...
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with car damage?
Oh, right. Well, long story long. I took down the assassins and wound up inventing a new form of mixed martial arts. I became an international champion until one sore loser karate kicked my car. But I was covered with CG.
Covered for malicious damage and more. CG Atlantic Insurance Agents and Brokers. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Busy mornings demand a hearty breakfast, so start your mornings off the best way with Wendy's new breakfast wrap. Enjoy this savory wrap that's packed with fresh cracked eggs, breakfast potatoes, and a melty cheese sauce, with a choice of savory sausage or crispy bacon, all wrapped in a warm, soft tortilla. Wendy's always serves breakfast the right way.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express. Or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit CFAL.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
It's the season of joy, unity, and celebration. Join us on Saturday, December 7th at the Government House grounds for The Inclusion. It's a Christmas holiday fair. Fun for the whole family, Jolly Wonderland Playground, bingo, domino tournaments, carnival games, and even the Santa vs. Grinch boxing match. At 6 p.m., the TNCs kicks off with live DJs like DJ Chris, DJ Humble, and more bringing the vibes. Enjoy native dishes, tree lighting, drama, and live performances celebrating unity in the Bahamas. Admission is free, so come and experience the magic of the season. Inclusion, moving towards an inclusive Bahamas.
What gift gives you joy? The gift of home renovations. Apply for a personal loan with CIBC Caribbean and use your funds for a dream holiday, home renovations, or more, and we'll gift you no loan application fee and the chance to win one of 3 prizes in your country from our regional pot of up to US $100,000. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/joy of giving. CIBC Caribbean terms and conditions apply.
Your health just got brighter with Lamp Insured. Sign up for Doctors Hospital's Lamp Insurance Supplement Plan and enjoy copay waivers and complete access with no upfront ER or inpatient collections. Only $30 per month. Visit doctorshosp.com/lamp to sign up or contact 242-822-1009. That's 242-822-1009. Your journey to affordable and worry-free healthcare begins now.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Thanksgiving has arrived early at Montague Motors. This whole month is Black November with deep discounts on selected models. Roll out this season in style. Montague Motors, trusted quality service for over 20 years. Zero down, everyone. Village Road near Shirley. 698-3950. 812-7576. Call Montague Motors now and get the best discounts the entire month of November.
Make your house a home. Stop by the furniture store that's giving you more. With appliances, furniture, and prices. Whatever you want, we got it all. Promise Furniture, no wonder. We give it you, we make it worthwhile. We make it quality, comfort, and style. Quality and style, yeah. Promise Furniture, no wonder. What we give it you, we make it worthwhile. Giving you quality, comfort, and style. Promise Furniture.
The wait is over. That safe, guaranteed investment opportunity that you've been waiting for has finally arrived. My name is Bond, the Bahamas Government Savings Bond. And as of Thursday, November the 21st, all Bahamians, for as little as $100, can begin to save for their future. The investment rates are fixed and guaranteed with terms for 1 to 6 years, so you can't lose. Mark it down. Thursday, November the 21st. Get your Bahamas Government Savings Bonds. Check out the Central Bank of the Bahamas website for more details.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Time for your final look at weather for the morning, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Here's what's happening. We have some changes coming over the next few days. So we've got a frontal boundary near the southeastern Bahamas. That's going to migrate northerly while supporting showers and thunderstorms, along with moderate to fresh breezes over parts of the central and southeast Bahamas tonight. And near gale watch will come into effect by early tomorrow morning and will remain in place for the southeast Bahamas. Small craft being advised to remain in port. The low pressure system is expected to migrate west of the islands through Thursday, and lingering moisture is going to support a moderate chance of showers and thunderstorms for the southeast and central Bahamas. Another cold front is expected to slide into the area by Friday. We're going to warm up a bit before then. Beachgoers are advised to stay out of the water, well, at least acknowledge that there's a risk of rip currents along eastern and northern shorelines in the southeast Bahamas and Atlantic beaches. Today, partly sunny and mild for the northern and northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy, breezy for the southeast Bahamas, occasionally overcast, with a chance of showers and thunderstorms. Look for highs in the mid-80s today, lows in the mid to upper 70s. In your extended outlook for Tuesday, partly sunny across the northwest and central Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy across the southeast Bahamas. Pretty much the same for Wednesday. Partly sunny during the day, fair at night for Thursday and Friday. The tropics are quiet. Tropical cyclone formation not expected during these final few days of the Atlantic hurricane season. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. Got your final look at traffic, brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation with rbc.com/loan/all of you. In your real-time traffic, we've got heavy traffic on Mile Butler Highway still just north of Fire Trail on the way to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. Independence Drive still backed at both directions for you, east and westbound. Building traffic on Carmichael eastbound to Blue Hill Road and Robinson Road. You're not moving much between Soldier and Marathon Road East-West Highway. Still heavy traffic for you on Eastern Road from Fox Hill to about Johnson Road, and we're seeing some congestion on West Bay Street near Saunders Beach and heading into downtown near Nassau Street. That's your morning blend traffic, brought to you by RBC and rbc.com/loan/all of you. We're going to go to news in just a bit, but we are getting ready to talk about the Nassau Guardian turning 180 years old. Special edition of the paper today, the volume 180, number 1. It's a big deal. We're going to get into it with Gilbert Francis. We've got Candia Dames in studio. Chester Robards is here, joining DeAndre Cartwright and myself. We're going to get into that right after the break for news, folks. This is Morning Blend on a celebration day, and we want you to be a part of it all. We're going to tell you how when we get back. We've got giveaways. We've got a bunch of stuff that we want you to come down to celebrate with us later in the day. We'll tell you all about that in just a bit. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to a special edition of Morning Blend Business. We are celebrating here on Guardian Radio 96.9. It is the anniversary of the Nassau Guardian. 180 years as of November 23rd. And we are very pleased. We're going to have a big day here at the Nassau Guardian, and we're kicking things off. We're beginning with, in studio, with Dwight Strong with Deandra Cartwright. Chester Robarts is here as well. Chester is a writer for the Nassau Guardian. And we also have in studio executive editor Candia Dames and operating and advertising manager Gilbert Francis. Great to have you with us.
Good to have you.
Good morning.
And good morning, Bahamas.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. We've come a long way. Some may ask how we survived so long, And I said it's interesting. Our motto, be at peace with all mankind and at war with its vices. And I think that's one of the things that propelled us, because it's a thing of peace. I know that there are many, many concerns. I was listening to the talk show earlier about the crime incident. It's a very sad situation, but we're celebrating. We are celebrating, and we thank the loyal customers, our patrons for over the past 180 years. It's interesting that I saw in 1905. Print Masters was being advertised on the front page of the Nassau Guardian. So Print Masters has been around a long time, advertising on the front page of the Nassau Guardian. And then, it's printing. So we thank our loyal customers, and we're going to be doing some exciting things coming forward next year. And come on down and enjoy the fun. We have a lot of vendors with free food, and yes.
We're kicking that off around 11 o'clock or so, a little after 11.
12 to 12.
Yeah,
12
okay.
to 3.
So it's going to be a lot of good stuff. Entertainment as well.
Yes, entertainment.
Did you say free food?
The police behind as well. Yes, there's free food.
So it's a big party, street party today. All right, so let's talk about the legacy of the paper, and also the two of you have been here for a very long time, especially you, Gilbert. How long have you been with the Nassau Guardian?
Officially 44 years.
Officially, what does that mean?
I've been working for the Nassau Guardian in terms of promoting it. At age 4 or 5 years old.
What now?
I took the newspaper to Sir Randall Fawkes was one of my clients. Sir Randall Fawkes.
You were 4 years old?
Yes. My father brought the papers home, and in the neighborhood Fort Fincastle, there was a big community. And so we had men like Dr. Jackson Burnside, his father. He had a dental office on Fort Fincastle. He was one of my clients. We had, like I said, Sir Randall Fawkes. And so I got to know them on a daily basis.
Wow, amazing.
Him and his father. We had my John Clark, the Francises, all those papers, Roy Lavardi. I remember them very vividly. And I had an Uncle John Clark, that he would give us $1. In the 60s, dollars was a lot of money.
Wow.
And so he would give us $1, sometimes on the weekend $5, because he's an entertainer or Paradise Island, Blue Lagoon, so he always had money. So that also enticed me. We always were independent, to generate our own income. And I think the newspaper, there was a lot of paper boys back then, young men that actually were entrepreneurs. I know many of them today are holding prominent positions, or even on the police force.
Yeah.
Some Sands, the Rose. We had a lot of vendors that actually put their children in college and university, and they were selling papers in the morning.
Amazing.
So it was a lucrative business.
Yeah.
And so all that actually gave me that excitement.
Yeah. So you've been here from the beginning and seen many different stages of this paper.
And so my father came down and he said, "Well, I got punished when I got punished. I could not come to the Guardian. That was punishment."
Oh.
And so it was like magic coming in, seeing the dark room, Anthony Capron, Bill McCarty, and there was a very flamboyant general manager at the time, Mr. Mark Bettle, very flamboyant, but he also had his hands on everything. He would come down in the night And then after that, Ken Francis took over the newspaper. And we had some trials in that. You know, I remember at the time we had like 80% of our staff went out on a strike.
Oh boy,
man, that was challenging. And we survived. That 20% of the staff stayed on, and we produced the newspaper for 2 weeks. And eventually, you know, the staff came back.
Yeah.
So we went through our ups and our downs. Then we had a lot after Fred Sturp took over. A good sports writer at the time, but he was he became the editor and chief advertising manager. And after that, after Fred Sturp, Ken Francis came back on. The good thing about it, technology was, you know, transforming. And, at the time, we were owned by John Perry had the majority of the shares. John and Helena Perry, you know, and they would always have hands on and make sure we went off to be trained on the latest technologies. And, you know, so in the late 90s, early 90s, late 90s, we started to transform from offset into what we call digital.
Right.
And that was very difficult for some of the old guys because they were used to the cut and paste and waxing and what we call masking sheets and all those stuff. I remember one time to get a screen on the paper, there was a process that would take about 30 minutes. Yeah, you had to shoot it, dry it, paste it on, then rebind it to get a screen in the newspaper. And when we converted into the Mac computers, two of the then managers, Wendell Johnson and my father, and John Dorset and those, Gilbert Francis Sr., I said, you know, we don't have to do this no more. They said, no, man, you got to go double bind this thing.
Oh, boy.
That was the 30-minute. I said, it's just a click of the button. 5 seconds. Wow. 5 seconds and it's there. And so technology was, you know, and it was, to me, it was like magic. You know, then we converted into what we call computer-to-play technology in the 1996 up in New Orleans. This was exposed to we were part of the NAA, the NAA Newspaper Association of America, that certifies us and actually protects us as well. And so we went throughout just about every major state in the U.S., what they call CTP, computer-to-play technology. I mean, that cut out like 12. One person could have done like 12 different jobs.
Good Lord. Wow. So that's an early version of AI. So you've seen a lot. Yeah.
One of the things my father always told me, say, never let technology put you out of a job.
Yeah.
That's one of the things he always told us.
Wow.
So we've done a lot of so many things. Yeah. So many wonderful people been passed through the Nassau Guardian. And Ken Francis always said that this is not just a job, it's an institution. It's because you don't learn these things in school physically. No. I mean, you cannot get it anywhere.
Candia Dames, you not 44 years, no, not quite.
Oh, not anything near that.
You've been far too young. But you've been here how long now?
I joined the team in 2008. So I think that's about maybe 16 years or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it from your point of view as an editor and now executive editor, the changes you've seen and where things are today.
Well, I was just sitting here completely enthralled and fascinated listening to Gilbert Francis trace the history of the Nassau Guardian. So, of course, by the time I came around, we were well advanced technologically speaking, but it has been a real interesting period. You know, I think I told you before that coming to the Guardian for me was full circle because in high school, in 12th grade, when I was at H.O. Nash, Evan Wisdom was our homeroom teacher, and he made us every day get a copy of the Nassau Guardian, and we had to write reports critiquing the Nassau Guardian's coverage of various news events. And in those days, the Guardian, of course, had the color strip. Like Mondays, you had the Guardian in pink, and Tuesdays it was blue, and Wednesday it was green, and Thursday it was purple, and you had to have all of those strips cut out to show that you read the Guardian every day in that particular week. And I always point to that as sparking my interest in media and in journalism. And so coming here in 2008, it was just like, wow, this has been quite a move and quite the journey to to start with, critiquing the Guardian as a student and then coming on as the editor of the Nassau Guardian. We've had quite a few changes in that time that I've been here. Our team has evolved and changed. We, in 2010, branched off into television with Cable Bahamas. I think we had that partnership for about 10 years or so. We have, in more recent times, we are having a more keen and specific focus on building our digital brand under Vonique Toot, who's also our broadcast editor, because, the news environment is changing. The way people get their news is changing. The way how they want to get their news is changing. Oftentimes, by the time we hit the press, the story is already out. And so we have to ensure that our online presence is relevant, is fast-moving. We, of course, don't seek to be first. We seek to make sure that we get it out quickly, but that we have information that's factual.
Right.
And so, we've had a few changes in the last 15 years or so, I'd say.
Yes.
And but one thing that never changes is our commitment to the brand, to the product, to the highest tenets of journalism. And we don't always get it right. We seek to always get it right. We don't always get it right, and Mr. Francis knows that the times that we do get it wrong, the few times, we are very quick to correct ourselves and to apologize to our readers for erring. And so it's been a fascinating journey with the team we have. We went through a period where quite a few of our team members moved on to other things, other opportunities. We have our beloved Jasper Ward, who is, for instance, in D.C. at Reuters, doing wonderful things. And, even though we've lost some of them, I look at those moves with just great pride, because these are people who were trained in the Nassau Guardian by the leadership of the Nassau Guardian. And for them to move on to more other opportunities really speaks volume to the kind of training and preparation they got here at the Nassau Guardian.
Yeah. So when you look at the history of the place, I did some research, and the number of newspapers from the 19th century in the region, there's a handful of them left. Right. To be here, as we've been doing the Blast from the Past every day, to see that this has been here from a period of great change for this country, from right after the emancipation of slavery to where we are today, and the things that the paper has covered, it's really remarkable, unbelievable stuff.
I stand to be corrected, but I don't think that you can find another business in the Bahamas that has operated continuously for 180 years. Of course, we have other institutions, like the Anglican Church and what? Has the police force been around?
The police force in 44,
but
I think.
in terms of other commercial enterprises, you would be hard pressed to find one that has operated continuously for the last 180 years. And the Nassau Guardian has a fascinating history. There are points, admittedly, in our history that we would not look back at with great pride. Right. I mean, there was a period when the Guardian was viewed, not only viewed, but under its editors and leadership, was not the voice of the people, of the masses. No. And actually, there's a great piece that we run today from Sean McQueenie, former Attorney General Sean McQueenie, and it provides a fascinating and very detailed history of the Nassau Guardian, from the Mosleys onto the group that owned the paper during the UBP years,
and
the fact that
they
used the newspaper to push that particular agenda. Yeah. And then after the majority rule in 1967, I think is that when the Perrys took the paper?
It was for some financial issues, and eventually.
This piece is just, which is why he originally wrote this for us for the 175th anniversary of the Guardian. Mm-hmm. And I thought, gosh, we need to rerun this today, because it's good reading. And so I would invite our readers to read Sean McQueenie's piece today because it really encapsulates the history of the Nassau Guardian. As I said, you know, there were spots in there that we are not so proud of now looking back. But one thing for certain, the Nassau Guardian has endured through the changing times, throughout the 1800s to 1900s, and to where we are today, where we can look and say that notwithstanding the challenges that we do have today, we remain a force within this community. We continue to chronicle our history, which is a tremendous responsibility. I know, Dwight, you and I have been to the Department of Archives recently, going through our newspaper on microfilm and just kind of enthralled and fascinated by just all of the things that we covered over the years, over the decades. And you look back and we don't always think about it. And I remind reporters all the time that, you know, we are not just writing for today. We are writing for the next 50 years, the next 100 years. And so we must not ever forget that tremendous responsibility that we do have, not just to today's readers, but to tomorrow's readers as well.
So true.
Okay.
So,
I think Mr. Mosley, actually, his vision, you talked about slavery earlier, and that was one of his motivations as well.
For starting the newspaper, right?
Starting it. And
because
he said it's a journal done in its proper form will be the betterment for the colony at the time, you know. And
yes, because he came here to work for another publication.
They was trying to get him.
And the views of that publication was very pro-slavery, and that was something which caused him to establish the Nassau Guardian in 1844. But then his granddaughter, Mary Mosley, who was just a formidable, prominent figure, became editor of the Guardian.
And took it to another level.
You can read all about that in today's Nassau Guardian.
And as you said, in today, the Blasphemous Past is looking at the 100th anniversary of the paper and what they did. And looking back, it was such detail, looking back over the history of the 100 years of the first 100 years of their existence. And that is a special issue, November 23rd, 1944. If you can get to the archives and look at that, it'll be mind-blowing.
Well, also, I'd like to put a shout out for the board of directors who've always given us what we wanted, or we needed, what we needed, not what we wanted at all times. But they were very supportive in everything I think we needed at the time to keep us, abreast with the times.
Yeah. And the production crew. Let's not forget the production crew.
The production crew, oh man, the guys in the night, Mr. Brown, the production manager, and all his entire staff. They had an issue last night actually, and like Candia said, we don't get everything right in the front end, but he worked through that and he really smoothed everything off. You look at the paper, you won't see anything wrong, but there was something what he sorted out. But the circulation department, Kirk Monroe, and the entire guys that go and deliver the paper. I mean, these guys get out their bed at 12 o'clock in the night. They're up all night in traffic. I think maybe the government could partner to them to be some watchmen.
All right, so let's talk 180 years. Things have changed a lot. What is the future looking like? What can we expect for a newspaper going forward?
Well,
Gilbert?
the one of the things we envisioned from the late 90s that newspapers was going to disappear. I had the opportunity in Orlando in 1999. There was a big move to actually go digitally totally.
From that early.
Oh yeah. They call it. They had a conference called the Super Conference in Orlando, Florida, and this when the digital really take off. There was about 20 men in a room. In a room, I probably been only local. I mean, foreigner guy there. What we was discussing internet technology, where we're gonna go, and they call it the Super Conference. Part of the NAA, Newspaper Association of Americas.
Yeah.
And community papers in the U.S. was big. You know, it was huge because it influenced the towns, the counties. And I think there's also another plan behind that too. But newsprint shot up to the roof.
You're not going to tell us? You
just dropping that information and nothing else.
It's a serious plan behind it. Yeah, but because, you know, if you have a community paper in, say, 50 states, and those states have different counties, you know, those papers, those locals rely on that paper for information.
A lot of influence.
But sometimes it be contradictory to the narrative that needs to be placed. So that I'm one global
that's
influence.
scary. That's very scary.
It sets the narrative. So
too much consolidation. Wow.
Yeah, I think newspapers, and this is not unique, obviously, to the Nassau Guardian, but newspapers, I mean, across the world in various markets, right, are challenged to stay in actual hard copy publication.
It's expensive.
For various reasons. It's not a cheap venture. And advertisers more and more are moving online to get their messages across. And so it becomes a particular challenge for newspapers because, you know, ultimately we are a commercial enterprise, right? Yes. And so that is obviously something that, you know, will be up for consideration as we move forward. I mean, there's no plan to end the publication itself, but there will be a continuous move to strengthen and beef up our digital and our online product offerings for advertisers, for readers. And that will continue to be our focus moving forward. But again, you know, maintaining the same standard. And there is definitely a balance that has to be struck in terms of providing resources to keep the actual newspaper publishing on a daily basis and recognizing that people are getting their news in different ways now, right? You know, you can just look at your phone and if something happens in 5 minutes, you already know about it, as opposed to waiting for tomorrow to read about it in the Nassau Guardian. And so we're walking this line where, you know, we're seeking to preserve the magic of newspapers, feeling it in your fingers and flipping through the pages, but at the same time recognizing that we are in a new era where people get their information in different ways. And so when things happen, we automatically go and look at our site. We post breaking news all day. And then we have to say to ourselves, okay, how do we handle this story for tomorrow? Because in many respects, by tomorrow, it's already ancient news.
Yeah.
And so moving forward for us, that is an ongoing consideration in how to keep the actual publication going as a going concern, and also to perhaps monetize more the digital operation of the newspaper. And that has been an ongoing discussion that we've been having.
Yeah. You know what I found amazing? As you say, we've been going to the archives, and you look at paper from the 30s, 40s, 50s, and you realize how much the newspaper was like Facebook today. Where everybody posted everything.
Everything.
Wedding announcements.
Dwight Strachan of number 3 McCullough Corner will be off the island from the 3rd of December until the 28th of December.
And then you show
and
a
in my
picture.
absence, one Chester Robards is authorized to collect all my packages, and all my windows and doors will be unlocked. And I'll see you on the 28th.
Right.
I mean, those were literally the kinds of ads that ran. It's just fascinating. People advertised when they were going off the island. People advertised when they got a new car. It's cute.
Yeah, cute. This is the best word. Best word.
And we're not just selling you an ad now. Like, you know, in the past, we're selling you a whole package, you know. And we want to drive customers to your business. That's the main, you know, you got hard copy, but you have digital. You have package for
Radio as
website,
well.
radio. You have now broadcasting via Facebook, which is becoming a big thing. Wani Tudor and her team is doing a tremendous job with that as well. So broadcasting, I had a good feedback on that this weekend, actually. So it's a full package we're selling.
Yeah.
Newspaper, radio, broadcasting via Facebook, as well as digital, website. And so we're global newspaper now.
Yeah, which is why when I'm editing stories, and because we don't always think about what you just said, being global, when I'm editing stories, I always insert. If you're talking, if you say, I don't know, Sands Lane or something like that, I always insert that this is on the island of New Providence, because you don't just make the assumption that you're appealing to local readers,
right?
Because you have the readership that is all over the world. We could post something right now, and within 2 minutes, we could get a response from the other side of the world.
Yeah.
And that is the way it is now. It's you have a global readership, and there's something to keep in mind as we produce the newspaper.
And I became more aware of that when we started the website. Like I said, 97 we officially did that, and we were doing it manually, really, and posting it up. And say a week, you may drop the ball for one day. You would have persons from Britain, Germany.
And they're
calling. Why? What's happening to the website? And then I realized that this thing is really powerful.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that persons all up in Europe. You drop that for one day, they actually call. Why the Guardian is not
And Dwight, one of the challenges we have, and that we will need to address as we move ahead, is finding the talent that's interested in the craft of journalism, interested in sitting and writing and considering words and how to put them together. And we have this great challenge right now because of social media and online and the way that our young people, the culture, the social media culture that they've been raised knowing, there's not a great interest or excitement among young people, I find, in becoming newspaper journalists. But the fortunate thing now is what I tell young people is that you don't just have to do one. You can do broadcasting as well as newspaper, as well as whatever else that we're doing. You can be like a multimedia broadcaster. A journalist. Right. But it's very hard now to find young people who are excited in just sitting down and writing, like going and getting the story and sitting and writing. They want to see themselves on TV and on social media and all of that. And so we've been tremendously challenged in finding that kind of talent that's excited, enthused, interested in the hard work of producing a newspaper.
They want to be media personalities, not necessarily writers.
That's one of our greatest challenges right now.
Yeah. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Strachan, on the panel, Ms. Dames, and the rest. Ms. Dames said something very, very crucial for me as a 60-year-old man, but maybe perhaps you could do a survey because I guess when my generation is past, and you guys make it laugh, I have a picture of me reading in The Guardian from maybe like about 11 or 12 years old, right? And so there's a study that showed that young people are reading less, right? But I know online, like as far as, let's say the online platforms, people will read because it's on the computers, et cetera, but what about the side effects of being on the screen too much, where everything is becoming digitalized and the stress is on our eyes? And so you could go and look into that and maybe do some data and some research. But some people, just like I would enjoy a hardback copy of a book also with the newspaper. So I feel as if people would be reading less because the newspaper has sections. While I like the global platform that he's talking about, which is spread all over, but perhaps you guys can do a survey. And so Candia had mentioned something that when she was in high school, which I thought was great. So this is not capitalistic, but maybe you could liaison with the government to implement something like that she had spoken about, and you could continue to sell your paper copies. I guess maybe, I don't know which one is more expensive, better the digital all the selling the newspaper, but I guess with the digital, you still have to use paper because you still you type it in or whatever, but you still have to be able to get the print. So that's a way to go. I mean, I just can't see you all getting ready. I mean, I guess you all moving towards getting rid of the physical paper. You all saying?
No. Didn't say that.
Because because some people enjoy reading in without everything is computerized. I'm just saying the stress, just sitting down to the computer at work, coming home looking at the computer just to read the newspaper, which is really stress on the eyes. Even though the phones have these eye comfort shields and whatever, I don't think they work. But it does get the eye a little bit lazy, and it tells a toll on the eye. So,
Indeed.
I mean, I don't know which is it. I'll just hang up and listen.
Okay, it's a known thing, and it's definitely going to do damage to your eyes. But yeah, things are changing. Let's take another call. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning again, Dwight.
Hi.
And to all of your group that is in the studio. Dwight, you have the chaplain of my workplace. He's there. He is our chaplain. And very much, Dwight, he's very much biblically inclined. Oh, he knows his Bible. I will not call his name, but he is our chaplain.
I mean, we've already called his name, so everybody knows it's Gilbert Francis, but okay.
But I also want to join in to congratulate you all on 180. That's a long, long time. I am still also a fan of The Guardian by reading the papers. I like to be informed with the news, and especially some of those undertakers that frequent my place or the workplace. They like to look at the obituary. That is a very big demand still in our country. The obituary, sometimes you don't know when you lose a friend, and when you look in the obituary section, you see that person has been demised. So I want to say congratulations to you and all the team, especially our chaplain. We are so proud of him. 44 years is a long time on one job. And I sometimes, do I get on my nerve? My chaplain, I want you to pray for him.
And he don't look a day over 44.
Hello, I didn't hear you, Miss Dames. I
say he doesn't look a day over 44.
Oh no, we keep him nice and fresh, he is well focused. Your father was a client of mine many years ago. He was a little bit bigoted though, but he was a good guy. Miss Dames. Okay, so congratulations to all of you, and continue to do well at the Nassau Guardian.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. B.
Okay. All right. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to tell you about the celebrations today. And I got a prize to give away. I've got a package here. I got a bunch of goodies, Guardian goodies. We got a T-shirt. We got a cap. We've got a Guardian radio mug. You can win this. All you have to do is one special thing. I'll tell you all about that after the break. And then we'll give you the schedule of all the exciting things we're going to be doing. We're having a street festival, basically, today. So you got to come down to Oaksfield at some point today. This is Morning Blend, a special edition of the show today. We're celebrating 180 years of the Nassau Guardian. You want to be a part of this? Stay tuned.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express. Or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit cfal.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it, just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Pinder is carrying a new line of tile, the Sky series of porcelain. Comes in 4 colors, Sky Noir, Sky Azure, Sky Gris, and this one, Sky Glance. In this particular tile, I think you'll find coin gray, silver gray, cloud gray, and gray. All of these are seamlessly blended to make the Sky Glance one beautiful tile. The Sky series of porcelain comes in 2 formats, 24 by 24 at $5.30 a square foot and 12 by 24 at $5.25 a square foot.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Hi, we are back with Morning Blend, a special edition of the show today. We are celebrating the 180th anniversary of the Nassau Guardian, and Dwight Strachan with DeAndre Cartwright. We've got Chester Robards with us as well, and we're talking with Gilbert Francis and Candia Dames, and we've got a whole lot planned for today. After 11, things should get really good. 12 to 3 is the scheduled time for the big party outside. A whole lot of wonderful people going to be here, and entertainment as well, performances. We're going to have performances outside. Can you imagine that? Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun, guys. All right, so we've got some more of your calls and messages coming in. Candy, listen to this text. This person says here, it will be difficult to find people who want to be journalists because of the long hours and the money and the lack of respect from the public and politicians. Do you think, is it that
long
bad?
hours, money, and lack of respect?
From the public and politicians.
Well, yeah, there are long hours, but and we always say that it's not just a job, right? It is a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle, and so it is not for everybody. And I suppose that's one way to look at it. You know, I'm not hard work, you just can't get around it. You could work a little smarter, which is why, you know, passion drives the good work. We've had very solid opportunities for people with a decent salary in this environment and positions that we've just not been able to fill. I'm not going to quote it on air. And what is the third one?
They're saying lack of respect for the public and politicians. Well, I think that when they need you, they know how to respect you.
We're not looking for any love from the politicians, right? And you know, we are driven not by the need to be liked, but we're driven by the craft and the need to ensure that what we produce is top tier, top quality, and accuracy being our number one priority, right? Mm-hmm. So I mean, you know, there are challenges, as I said, in attracting young people to the profession, but I don't think that a desire to be loved or respected should be up there.
Yeah. In fact, it'd be good if you don't want that at all. Right, so that's fine. Good morning, caller, you're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Deandra, and good morning to your guest.
Morning.
Miss Steve, you were saying that you can't find too much persons that are interested in the papers. Do you guys do like field trips? Like have students come down and show them the ins and outs of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Gilbert's always having
we do
tours.
a field trip. Students are very excited. We had one 2 weeks ago. Very excited to see the whole operation. And you know, sometimes they don't want to leave. Yeah,
many of them want to be on TV, though.
Yes,
right. Many of them want to see themselves, and there is this view about the broadcast side of it, particularly the visual, the television side of it, that, you know, it's more glamorous, it's more fun. I mean, ultimately, no matter which sector or part of the media you're in, if you're going to do it right, it is hard work. I have done both. We've done both, right, Chester? Mm-hmm. I used to spend my first half of the day doing TV and the second half doing newspaper every day. But there's this view that many of them have that, you know, they want to be on TV, man, or they want to be the social media star. And, you know, it's a very, as I said earlier, it's very difficult for us to find.
The reason why I asked, too, is because like how you said with your teacher, and the way your teacher did it, that piqued your interest. I think 52 was saying how persons don't read as much anymore. But I feel like if most of the Swahili you guys would probably need to communicate with education and see if they can have something implemented like that. I'm sure there are persons there, because you have a lot of, especially introverts type people, who would probably like something like that where they don't have to be in the public eye.
Oh,
well, being in the newspaper,
you can't be an introvert.
Being in the newspaper business does not mean you're not in the public eye. I mean, of course, unless you're like in the press room or, you know, behind the scenes.
There are sections there that they won't have to be.
If you're a journalist, it's difficult not to be.
But that part I know, because you have to get out there and find the news and be a part of the news as it is made. However, I still feel like there are things that can be done, that can find one or two persons here and there and continue on. Because, like you say, 180 years ain't no 2 years around the corner. That's a lot of time. So we have to find persons to continue on this for another 180 years.
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
We're not saying that we've given up. I was merely pointing to the challenges of finding the talent and passionate people who are interested in the craft.
And the public can play a role in this, right? The previous caller mentioned there's a picture of him reading a newspaper when he was a little kid. Yeah. So we encourage parents to have your children read the paper, right? Get them into the newspaper. I remember I told this story before. A little nephew of mine I just wanted to see his reading level. Asked him to read a story out of the paper for me, and it was the jump page. He didn't know what to do because he turned over like, "Where's the rest of the story?" I said, "Oh boy, no one told you how the jumps work," which we learned in school. I remember we had a class in primary school like, "This is how you read the newspaper. This is how they work," and you go to this section and that. But I don't know if that's happening at all today.
Yeah. Well, we had a program actually. C.R. Walker was one of the very They had a student program that actually came to the paper to learn and produce and print their own paper.
Okay.
Now we did this with a couple schools, and they were. Well, you go to the school first and you introduce them, and they were really excited. They actually produced 4 publications.
Oh, wow.
C.R. Walker, they produced their own John Canoe when they won the John Canoe that year, and it was an 8-page tabloid, so it was student-driven. The teachers were very, very good, very good. It was headed by a young man, Abraham, but they came and they produced their paper right at the Guardian.
Excellent.
We had a laptop. We gave them a laptop to, and physically do, paginated report with the teacher's help. And then we printed for a small fee.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Yeah, very exciting. So I'm curious about this, but Gilbert, do you know about this? So again, doing the research, you see the NASA Guardian had many different names, NASA Guardian and something else.
Right,
do you know what that was about? It was the first edition was An Bahama magazine, and then within 100 years it was the NASA Guardian and the Bahama Island Advocate and Intelligencer. Do you know why that kept happening?
There was different. One was the Observer as well.
Right.
Yes. Well, in that, to be honest, I don't know deeply why it was, but I know there were different partners.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Observer was a different partner in
Okay.
it. Like I said, when I don't want to call no name, but when they ran into some financial stuff in the Perry Society, okay, I'm going to take up the payroll, and that's how they got into it. And then then they were Panhead. Then we had Mr. Alexio and Anthony Ferguson, the AF Holdings and stuff. They've did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So the interchange was different. Different people coming into Guardian and one part.
Okay. Let's say one final call, and then we're running out of time. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, Dwight. Your guest was just makes me a little guilty because he didn't imagine C.R. Walker. When I graduated in Orange Bailey, we had a newsletter too. We came to the Guardian for that, I think it was 2 weeks, and we printed one in 09. So tell them call Orange Bailey as well.
Okay, Orange Bailey. Yeah, I had a lot of school actually. C.I. Gibson, the one down on Blue Hill Road, S.C. McPherson. They were very excited. They had a pretty good.
Yeah.
So it worked. It's worked.
One final technical question here, sort of technical, Candia. How does the Guardian avoid or diminish the idea that it might have an agenda or support a certain social or political ideology while also trying to maintain an independent presence while also making money and staying in business? Yeah, it's a lot. How do you avoid looking like you're supporting one group or whatever and not offend sponsors but still report on them fairly?
I mean, when I was hired here back then, I always remember one of the owners saying to me, I'm not a journalist. I'm a businessman. I'm not going to get in your way. Just do the job of editing the newspaper. Just don't get me sued. But I'm not going to step in front of you and get in the way of producing the news because that is not my area of specialty. Mm-hmm. And I must say that one of the reasons that I lasted here as long as I've lasted here from a personal perspective is that I've not had to face interference from so-called powers that be. Yeah. And there's this perception that people have that, we get phone calls that say, do not run this or put this here. Or, literally what you see every day is just the result of decisions that we make at night. A couple editors saying, okay, let's go with this, let's go with that. people don't always agree. Being an editor is obviously a very subjective job. Sometimes we don't agree among ourselves, right? One editor doesn't necessarily agree with the other editor, but there are certain standards, editorial principles and standards and very high tenets of journalism that we all adhere to. And that is what guides us. Like, we're not driven by what this politician thinks or what this politician says or any kind of, particular influence. Notwithstanding what people think, and it's always funny because if you write about this side and the other side thinks you're so wonderful today, and the next day you write about something else from their side and they think that, you're biased, you're this, you're that. But if you're, again, in this profession looking for love and likes, etc., it's just not the place or the space to be. And so what we do is we seek truth and we seek to report truth. And that really is the standard. Yeah, that guides us.
For us, I think if they both manage you, then you're doing something right, maybe. Okay, so we got a lot going on today, folks, and the vendors are starting to set up. So it's going to be a party out here, and it's going to be a whole lot of exciting things. We got performances, we got a police band, we've got other artists coming out as well, and I have a package to give away. It's a NASA Guardian 80th anniversary T-shirt. We've got a baseball cap, and we've got a Guardian radio mug. So we're gonna get you all Guardianed up today. If you can be the first person to drive down here into Oaksfield, if you have 1844 in your license plate, 1844. The first person who has 1844, the year of the NASA Guardian's founding, you've got this package. And we're going to be giving a whole lot more away today. But if you're the first one to pull up here with 1844, you've got it. 1844, it's got to be that order. 1844, not 4188 or whatever. 1844. Yeah, it's going to be A something or DA or whatever it is. But 1844, and you've got it. So come on down. Be the first, pull up in the parking lot, and we'll take some pictures with you, and we're going to get that going. Okay, so Candia Dames, thank you so much. Gilbert Francis, thank you so much. Happy anniversary to you. Chester Robards,
thank you so much.
You being a NASA Guardian. We'll talk with you in the next show, maybe. Celebrate today. Enjoy it. Have a great one.
Thank you, Bahamas, and come down.
Hey, Deandra Cartwright, thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you for having me, Dwight.
We really appreciate it. Be sure to pick up today's NASA Guardians, a special edition today, and check out the business section, brought to you in part by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And tune into CFAL Talks tonight at 6:30 p.m. right here on Guardian Radio. Everybody, join us today. The celebrations kick off at 12 o'clock right outside the NASA Guardian. Have a great one, everybody. Stay tuned. We're going to be celebrating all day. Aaron Green, and on the clock,